Hello, all you YouTubers. Hope you're doing well. This is the Zion Zeus. Tomorrow we have a blog talk radio show with me, the Zion Zeus. We're going to cover a lot of great topics tomorrow, so make sure you tune into that. Go to blogtalkradio.com/the Zion Zeus. And so what I'd like to do right now is take a look at the earthquake uptick that we've kind of been seeing in the last 20 days, I guess you would say. It's really after kicking up another notch. I did see a couple of ideas or theories out there that the 188 days between the major quakes, one of the quakes happened in Chile, and then 188 days later in New Zealand the next mega quake happened. And then after that we had Japan, and they were saying that basically anywhere along the if this is the Ring of Fire, to the east of the Ring of Fire, there could be something going on there. And I'm not really sure, but I do know Alaska had a pretty big quake, so might be something to consider. Alaska had a quake alright on the 15th. It was a very powerful day. The 15th was actually. What I did here was this is actually a volcano watch here. This is Hawaii right here, volcano watch. This is a Cleveland one, not in the city of, not in the area of Cleveland in the United States, but along the Ring of Fire. So let me just show you up here. Orange normal, green, yellow advisory, orange. What is orange? It means it's getting more, something to watch out for, and red is a warning. So right now Hawaii's a watch, keep an eye on it. This one up here in the Ring of Fire is also on a watch, and this one is advisory. It could increase. So there does seem to be something happening in the Ring of Fire. Let's have a look at the 15th. And looking at the 15th, this one here is very interesting. The 6.1 Alaska. Depending on where you are, that could be considered the 15th. Just depends on how you look at it. But if you brought this in the 15th, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 major quakes on September 15th. You could, depending on where you live, as I said, UT time, this could have been early that day. Maybe. And then we had New Zealand, Japan, and Fiji go off on the actual 15th. 1, 2. I mean, there are 3 big quakes on that day. So maybe that does correlate to the 188 days idea and theories that are out there, because that's pretty major. You could technically say there was 4 major quakes: Alaska, New Zealand, Japan, and the Fiji regions. And then the other ones were pretty interesting too. Cuba, Fiji, China actually had one above that island region. And then on the 16th, Japan just went absolutely bonkers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the space of 24 hours. There was 8 quakes in Japan. and 6.7 and a 6.0, and the rest were pretty up there too. So I mean, that's that's definitely a big uptick there in those 2 days. I would say actually 2.25 days, to be honest. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 6.0 quakes. That, I mean, that's pretty significant, to be honest. So there was a theory out there that if you go from Chile to New Zealand, Chile was 2010 February 27th, to New Zealand September 4, 2010, to Japan, which was March 11, 2011, and then 188 days. It should bring you into this region somewhere. Well, if we look at what happened, let's see, we look at this list a little bit better here. We had Alaska. Okay, so up here was hit with a quake. Okay, New Zealand was hit 1-1, so that means that bounced down here. Okay, and then we had Japan, so Japan bang went up here, and then we had Fiji. Let's have a look at Fiji. Actually, that's an interesting place. Let's have a look what happened with Fiji actually. So it bounced around from Alaska, New Zealand, Japan. So I'm starting to see that maybe Alaska is the energy point where it propagates out the ringing. So the Fiji Islands, yeah, they don't really play into it that much. Let's have a look again. So that would have been, let's see, Alaska. Okay, Alaska, New Zealand, Japan. Okay, so we went from Alaska down to New Zealand up to Japan. Okay, then we went from Japan back down to this region here. Okay, alright, so we went down. China, Philippines had one too, Vanuatu went off as well, and then we went back up to Japan and we stayed at Japan. Okay, so we stayed at Japan here the last day and a half, going off with 6. How many quakes went off there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quakes. Okay, Alaska, New Zealand, up to Japan, back down to the Fijis, back up to Japan. Okay, let's have a look at that on Earthquake 3D. So this is Earthquake 3D here, and I actually set it on the 15th right here. So let's have a look at the magnitudes that were going off on those dates. Magnitudes 4.0 or greater. Wow. It's pretty significant actually. Let's have a look at that. So this is 5.0. Wow, this is the Ring of Fire. I mean, you can see right here the New Zealand region is getting absolutely bombarded with quakes like crazy. Let's zoom in there a little bit. I mean, and these are pretty big quakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right in this area. Okay, so Japan, we can also see, wow, Japan is getting bombarded as well. So there's Japan all along here down towards Australia, and then it pops over into North New Zealand. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, 6.1. So look at that. 6.1. There's the Alaska one. Okay, so Alaska went popped off 6.1, and we had a new one. It looks like Northern California today, 2.8. Okay. Alright, so let's have a look at the Ring of Fire a little bit. Places that I'm kind of a little bit concerned about, to be honest, would be Peru, Colombia, even possibly all this region right here, basically Mexico down to Venezuela, Colombia, and Peru, even as far down as Argentina. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look at that. So what is causing this major uptick in earthquakes? I guess that's the question, huh? So let's actually have a look at the Ring of Fire a little bit better. Okay, so we have this major swarm going off. We have this, we have Japan, and we even have Europe now popping off. Europe, China, wow, Jesus, we have a lot of stuff going on. So this is what we look like going back nearly 10 days. There's a lot of activity, folks. One of the areas that I just don't see the balance in, to balance out what's going on. I don't know. Maybe this region over here, the East Coast, possibly Mexico, possibly right across here could have something pop off, possibly. So it's really intriguing. These quakes around the Ring of Fire are not stopping, they're actually continuing. So it's something to keep an eye on. And I would say that the 188 days theory actually did come into play here. I would actually kind of look at that and say, I think it actually did come into play, because 1, 2, 3, 4 compared to the other days, you only had 1 or 2, but on the 15th it went a little bit ballistic. So there is definitely something going on. It's something to take note of, it's something to be aware of. And on tomorrow's show we're going to go a little bit deeper into alignments, talk about the comet that everybody's kind of following right now, and kind of look at that a little bit closer, and talk about locations in the sky in different parts of the world, and have a look at future alignments. Is it something to be wary of? Is it something to be prepared for? So that's Blog Talk Radio /Design on Zeus tomorrow. I mean, as you can see just by this this diagram here, this particular tool, there is definitely something going on. I mean, the Ring of Fire is just going ballistic. So I believe if everybody puts the right intention out there, we can maybe show this planet that we care about it, and try and do something before anything really crazy goes down. So if you have that mindset, I don't know, say some good wishes, say some prayers, say whatever you need to say, but if we all kind of put something positive out there, maybe we can have a positive impact on this planet that we live on, and look for a very good positive outcome. So I want to say have a great day tomorrow. This is the Zion Zeus.